Hello मेरे प्यारे students. A very warm welcome back to the channel. I know your exams are right around the corner, so today we're going on a super fun quest to absolutely conquer the first chapter of Python. We're gonna make it so simple. So, if you're ready to power up for your exams, let's just dive right in.
Now I get it. Exam time means a lot of pressure, a lot of tension. But for this chapter, tension nahi lene ka. Seriously, take a deep breath. Trust me on this one. This chapter is one of the easiest and you can score full marks here. It's a piece of cake.
So, I want you to stop thinking of Python as just another subject. No. Think of it like a cool superpower that you are about to unlock. A power that's going to help you ace those exams. So, are you ready to start your training? Chalo, shuru karte hain.
Okay, let's get into it. Before we start writing all this cool code and making amazing things happen, we first have to understand what even is a program? You know, it's just like learning the rules of cricket before you go out and try to hit a six. Makes sense, right?
A program is, very simply, a set of instructions. That's all. Think about it like a recipe. You watch your favorite food vlogger on YouTube, right? They give you step 1, step 2, step 3 to make amazing biryani. A program is exactly like that, but this recipe is for your computer.
Now, this is a super important idea. See, we write our code in Python, which is kind of like English, but the poor computer, it only understands zeros and ones. So how does it understand us? Well, it uses a special translator called an interpreter. Python has an interpreter. Think of it like a live translator, you know, the kind that translates one sentence at a time. And the best part, if you make a mistake on one line, it tells you right away. Remember this for your Viva, okay? It's a very important question.
And check this out. Here are Python's main superpowers. It's a high-level language, which is just a fancy way of saying it's easy for us humans to read and write. It's totally free. As we just learned, it's interpreted. And here's a big one. It is case-sensitive. That means a small number and a big number are two completely different things to Python. And finally, it runs everywhere, on any computer.
So, how do we actually talk to Python? How do we give it our instructions? Well, there are two main ways to do it. Think of it like this. There's a difference between having a quick one-line chat with your friend versus writing them a long, detailed letter, right? It's the same idea here.
So, on the left, we have interactive mode. See those three little arrows? That's your clue. You type just one command, say 1 + 2, hit enter, and bam, it gives you the answer 3 instantly. It's awesome for quick tests. But on the right, that's script mode. This is where you write your full, proper programs. You save them in a file that ends with .py, and then you run the whole thing together. This is what we'll be using for our exam programs.
All right, so now we know where to write our code. Let's start learning the basic grammar, you know, the ABCs of Python. These are like the magic words that make everything happen. And we're going to start with the most important building block of all, variables.
So what on earth is a variable? It's just a container. It's that simple. Think of a daba from your kitchen, you know, a tiffin box. You give that daba a name, like maybe marks, and then you put something inside it, like the number 95. That's it. In the computer's memory, a little space is now called marks and it's holding the value 95. Simple, right?
But wait, you can't just name your daba whatever you feel like. Nope, there are some rules. It has to start with a letter or an underscore, never a number. And no special characters are allowed, like your exclamation marks or $signs. Now listen closely, students. Pay very close attention to this slide. This is a bucka question for your 1-mark section, guaranteed.
Okay, let's look at some examples of what not to do. First room is wrong because, why? It starts with a number. Total marks is invalid because of that space in the middle, not allowed. And serial no is wrong because it has that dot at the end, which is a special character. See? Once you know the rules, it's so easy to spot the mistakes.
Okay, so we have our container, the variable. But what kind of things can we actually put inside it? Well, let's open up Python's little treasure chest and take a look at all the different kinds of data, or what we call data types. So, we can store numbers, like whole numbers called integers, or decimal numbers called floats. We can store text, which we call a string. Then we have some cool collections. A list uses these square brackets and it's changeable. You can add stuff to it later. A tuple, on the other hand, uses these round brackets and it's unchangeable. Once you make it, it's locked. And finally, a dictionary lets you store data in pairs, like a word and its meaning. All right, enough about just storing data. That's boring. Let's actually make our program do something. It's time to learn about operators. These are the special symbols that do all the calculations and really bring our code to life.
Okay, let's quickly look at the basic math operators. You already know most of these: plus, minus, multiply, divide. Easy. The new ones you need to remember are the modulus, that's the percentage sign, which gives you the remainder of a division, and the double star, which is for powers, like 2 to the power of 3. You can just pause here for a second and take a good look at this table.
All right, pop quiz time. This is a classic exam question, so pay attention. If you give Python this calculation, 20 plus 30 times 40, what do you think it will do first? Will it do the addition or the multiplication? Have a think.
And the answer is multiplication first. If you guess that, you are absolutely correct. You see, Python is smart. It follows the same BODMAS rule that you learned in your math class. Multiplication has a higher priority than addition, so first it does 30 times 40, which is 1200. And only then does it add the 20 to get the final answer, 1220. So the main thing to remember is Python knows its math.
Now, let's be real. Even the best of the best programmers make mistakes. In the world of programming, we call these little mistakes bugs. So let's learn how to find these naughty little bugs and squash them. This whole process is called debugging.
There are 3 main types of bugs you need to know about. First, we have syntax errors. These are just like spelling or grammar mistakes. If you forget to close a bracket, Python will just stop and complain. Then we have logical errors. These are very sneaky because the program runs without any error message, but it gives you the wrong answer. And finally, there are runtime errors. The code looks perfect, but an error happens when it's running, like if you accidentally try to divide a number by 0.
Let's look at a very common error from your textbook. See this? It's called a type error. This happens when you try to mix up different types of data. Here, the code is trying to add a word, rs, to a number, and Python just gets confused. It's like trying to add your name to your age. It doesn't make any sense. To fix this, we have to be the hero and convert the number into a string first, using the special str function.
Okay, time for a super fast revision. Here are the top 5 things you absolutely must remember for your exam. 1. Python is interpreted and it's case sensitive. 2. You must know the rules for naming identifiers. 3. Know the difference between a changeable list with square brackets and an unchangeable tuple with round brackets. 4. Don't you dare forget BODMAS. And 5. Understand the 3 types of errors. Got it? Awesome!
And that's it. That's our quick tour of the first chapter of Python. See, it wasn't so scary after all, was it? You are ready. You've totally got this. I wish you all the very, very best for your exams. Go out there and show them what you know. And hey, if this helped you out, please do share it with your friends.
But before you go, I have one question for you. What was the one thing from today that you found the most interesting, or maybe the most surprising? Was it the DABA analogy for variables? Or maybe the BODMAS rule in coding? Drop a line in the comments below and let me know. Keep learning, keep practicing, and I will see you in the next explainer. Bye for now.